Hello everybody, welcome back to the last video of the review. So, now this famous torpedo bomber during World War II, this is called the Grumman TBF Avenger, is one of the most famous storied aircraft of the Pacific War and World War II. So, as you know, it was the famous torpedo bomber when it was originally came into the picture. It was going to replace the aging Douglas TBD Devastator. So it made its first combat sortie during the Battle of Midway, which it turned out to be an outright disaster. When 6 of these Grumman Avengers left Midway that morning, 5 of them were shot down while only 1 was able to make it back to the Midway Island. While it made famous during the Battle of Guadalcanal, during the Battle of the Philippine Sea, during the Battle of Wake Island, and even during the Leyte Gulf battle and even Okinawa battles. But the very famous part of the Grumman TBF Avenger is the fact that a former U.S. president of the United States flew one of these in World War II. His name was George H.W. Bush, the father, whom he was one of among youngest naval aviators of World War II. During the time, he was 18 when he enlisted in the U.S. Navy, becoming the youngest pilot in the U.S. Navy in World War II. He served aboard the aircraft carrier USS San Jacinto. He participated during the Battle of Wake Island in 1944 and during the Battle of the Philippine Sea during the Marianas Turkey Shoot. And then in July of 1944, he was credited with one other pilot of sinking a Japanese cargo ship. But this very famous mission occurred actually on September 2nd, 1944, when George and the 3 other Grumman Avengers took off from the USS San Jacinto that morning to strike a Japanese radio installation in the island of Chichijima. And as soon as they came in for their attack run, George Bush's plane was hit by anti-aircraft fire, but managed to press on with his attack and keep his plane aloft for at least minutes until he was able to release the bomb, hit the radio station successfully, until he was able to bail out over the ocean. Until he stayed in the life raft for 4 hours until he was rescued by a U.S. submarine, the USS Finback. But for that heroic action, he received the Distinguished Flying Cross for that action, flying the total of 58 combat missions. And other than that, the Grumman TBF Avenger was also famous for sinking the 2 of the bigger battleships, the Musashi and Yamato, the 2 of the biggest battleships ever built in the world at that time, which is insane how those things did it with a Mark 13 torpedo. And it was used in many other countries as well, including the Japan Air Self-Defense as well. And I saw about, I think, 3 now of Grumman TBFs, because I saw one in the Intrepid Sea and Space Museum a few times. I saw 2 others at the air show that I've went to. I've touched one of them. It was really cool. And I got to see one for the first time flying. It was awesome. I love seeing the Grumman TBF. Well, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.